Okay, so let's start. This is the good afternoon again, and we're back to our usual Thursdays at 2 p.m. workshop, which is on large language models. And today we will see another way of handling these large language models, and it's gonna be using our local computer. And today we are going to be seeing how to use NLPs, large language models locally. And we're going to be looking at Ollama, which is an option that allow us to run large language models in our own device. So let's jump in. And these are the notes for today. I can share these in the chat. Okay, so thank you, Meg. All right, so let's begin. And I'm going to use these presentation slides, which I think control open the new tab. Okay, and slideshow. Everyone has access to it. So, all right. So let's start. What is Ollama? So we have been talking about large language models for the past 3 weeks. And we know that they're computer programs that understand and can generate human language. And also they have a series of capabilities. Among them is that they can create new text, they can write, or they can interpret some image, they can create images, they can analyze sound, they can analyze and describe videos, etc. And they're applied everywhere now. They're very popular, and the popularity is growing because at some point they help us to save time and improve our efficiency in doing our repetitive tasks. So what would be a need for deploying large language models versus using something that is on cloud-based, like Open ChatGPT or Gemini or Claude? So remember that you have to be extra careful when you're working with these systems in order not to upload your private data, because at some point, let's say you're writing a proposal and then you want ChatGPT to give you some feedback about your proposal. The last thing you should do is try to upload your proposal, because once you upload new data into ChatGPT, then it will become part of OpenAI, and everyone can at some point get some parts of your proposal. So running a local large language model will help us keep our data private. Also, running that local, that means that we can control everything, and the data and the software. And also, we don't have to be paying any ongoing fees for cloud services. Okay. So that's one of the main reasons why we should do this. Now, what is Ollama? So Ollama is an open source software. It's flexible, meaning that if it's open source, we have access to the code, so we can modify it and customize it, and also has very good performance. It can it's very easy to use, and we can run it in different devices. So that would be one of the advantages. This is the just a diagram of what would be the Ollama architecture. So Ollama is just a local large language model here, and then you can build additional applications using programs like LangChain, or you can create new user interfaces using Gradio. So So the user can interact directly with Ollama, or it can have a web GUI to interact with Ollama. And Ollama will be, if you are familiar with Docker containers, Ollama is similar to Docker, because Docker, you run different Docker images like operating system, different applications. With Ollama, you run different large language models. For example, in this case, it will use Llama 3 from Meta. And also you can, if you want to keep or register some history of your interactions, then probably you can interact with some light database. So that's the architecture, and Ollama is just a part of it. So instead of running your large language model on the cloud with some provider, you can run it on your local infrastructure. Okay, so what are the advantages of using Ollama? We mentioned that you can preserve the privacy of your data, and also you can control the configuration and the models. Also, it can lower your costs for using external services, and also you can run Ollama on different devices. What would be a disadvantage of using Ollama? Well, you need access to computational resources like GPUs or CPUs to have an efficient large language model execution. Also, you have to be doing the maintenance, like doing regular software updates. And also, you may find it challenging to set up an Ollama server in your computer, but we will try to run an example in application today. Okay, so let's jump out of this presentation and go back to the notes. Okay, so okay, so I'm here. So these are the notes for today. So I have explained very briefly what is Ollama and what are some of the key features, benefits, and Ollama, when we visit the Ollama page, let's say, then we land in this page, which you will be seeing. Oh, come on. What did I do wrong? Okay, this is the site for Ollama. And you will find that Ollama offers you a wide collection of different large language models. So for example, here you will find a Llama 3.2 version, which came out this week. So it's very updated. This is the previous version. And also Llama is being developed by Meta from Facebook, and Gemma is being developed by Google. And you will find other models like Qwen from Alibaba, Phi 3.5 from Microsoft, Nemotron from NVIDIA, and so on. So you will find different models for different applications. So that will be meaning that with Ollama, you can run any large language model that is available in the Ollama website. Okay, and then I'm just putting here a list of the most popular large language models that we use today. So besides the OpenAI, all these models are open source and they can be run using Ollama. Okay, so how do we install Ollama? We have to download from the Ollama website. So we go back here, and there's going to be, let's go to the main site, and then you can download it. It's going to be available for all operating systems, Mac OS, Linux, and Windows. And so you go to the site, and it will detect what operating system you have and requirements. For example, I'm using a Mac, so it's detecting that I will download the Mac OS version, but you can download a Linux version and a Windows version. And Linux, if you have a Linux machine, or for example, if you're using HPC or high performance computing or Cybers, all the images they have there for the command line are Linux machines. So Linux is going to be the preferred operating system for high performance computing systems. So let me go back. And so you can have two methods for installation. You can do the automatic installation in Mac OS and Windows, or you can use it, or you can do it using manual installation. And you can see the notes, and it will tell you there, you will find there how to install that, for example, for Linux. So I'm going to skip this part and do it later. But basically, in Linux, you have to prepare like a working directory, which I'm creating here as with the name Ollama in my home directory, and then I change into this directory, and then I'm going to use the curl command. The curl command is a command to get some software from some place. So here I'm using curl to get this file, which is sitting on ollama.com /downloads. And then I'm going to, the output, I'm going to name the output as just Ollama Linux AMD 64. And for Mac, you will find like Ollama for Darwin. And for Windows, you will find the equivalent. Okay, so once this command will download this file to your Ollama directory, and then you have to, since this file is compressed and tarred, so you have to use the tar command to decompress, to extract the compressed file named Ollama Linux. And it's going to do it inside your Ollama directory. And then in this Ollama directory, then, for example, you will find, see here, I have an Ollama, and then I will have well, I don't have it right now. I think I deleted, but this is my directory. So I have already downloaded the Ollama version for Mac, and I'm going to work with Ollama from a terminal. Okay. When we get to HPC, we will use this additional command tmux in order to manage the different windows on a single terminal. Okay, so I have downloaded Ollama, and the way to once you have downloaded, then you can just run download some of the models. For example, in this case, I'm running Ollama, and I want to use this large language model, Llama 3.2. If it is the first time you don't have Llama 3.2 installed downloaded to your system, then Ollama run will get a copy of the image of Llama 3.2, download it into your machine, and then start the system. So, and here you can use any model that you can find in the Ollama models. So, so I'm going to run. So I'm going to run Ollama. So I already have it installed. It's installed in this directory, user local bin. So I can just say Ollama run. And I want to run the Llama 3.2 by Meta. And then I have another window here, another terminal. Where is it? Okay. Here, if I say px x, and then grep Ollama, it's not running, right? So it's not running yet, so I'm going to run it. So I run it. And I already have run this model before, so I have it in my cache memory. And now it's running, right? Let me get another model. I'll show you which models I have. So Command plus. To see what Ollama models you have installed, you can say Ollama list, and it will show you all the images you have. Okay, let me move this out of the way. So I have downloaded these models, the Llama 3.2 latest. I had downloaded the day before yesterday, Llama 3.1. And I created this Mario model based on Llama 3.2. And also I downloaded this Code Llama, which is a large language model, which is focused on coding 5 months ago. But I can say, if I say, okay, so let's go back to the notes. So when Ollama accepts a set of commands after the name, so like list tells you what images you have downloaded. You can say Ollama PS to see what's running. So it's Llama 3.2 is running, and in case of the Mac, you will see the Ollama symbol up here, meaning that it's running, right? And it's running in this other terminal, which is this one. And now I can interact directly with the model. Like I can say, hello. Well, I'll just say, can you write a Python code for the hello world? Jesus, let me take this out. For the hello world program. So I'm asking the large language model to write Python code for the hello world program. It's a very common task. And it's replying with a piece of Python code. And so I can run that piece of code in Python and see if it works. So I'm using large language model to help me coding. I can also ask any type of questions. For example, what or why the sky is blue. And it will tell me, right? So it's answering a question. I use them to write a piece of code, right? And you can notice that if you're familiar with Markdown, double asterisk means a word between double asterisk means that it's boldface. Okay. All right. So it take a while. Will take a while. All right. So I'm running a model, and I can use additional Ollama commands. Let me go back to the where's it? So these are the different commands. You can run a model. You can list what models you have downloaded. You can see what is running. You can copy a model. You can remove a model, right? So let's say I want to remove a model that I'm not using anymore. So I go to the terminal. So say Ollama list. And I want to delete the call Llama or the Llama 3.1. So I will say Ollama remove the Llama 3.1 latest. Okay. And now if I say Ollama list, I won't no longer have the Llama 3.1 latest. Okay. And if I want a new model, I can say Ollama run, or let me get this thing out. If I want a new model, let's say I want to download whatever, Gemma. So Gemma 2, I can do that. Just run with the command Ollama pull the model Gemma 2, and it will automatically download the latest. So it's pulling another large language model for my local models, right? And these models can be large. In this case, this model is 5.4 gigabytes. The Llama 3.2 is smaller. It's 2 gigabytes only. Okay, so it's pulling it from Ollama. Okay, so continue. All right. So Ollama accepts, the command Ollama accepts all these different commands, additional commands. And also when you say Ollama serve, you start running a server, and that can be activated also when you say Ollama run some model. And you can access all the different flags using the -h or --help. So if I say Ollama help, let me go to another terminal. Yes, so it's finished here. I can say Ollama help. It will tell me all the possible commands. Yes, the ones we have been seeing. And also, let's say I'm inside the model, like here. No, this one. I'm inside the model. So here I can say additional commands, and these additional commands inside the model can be accessed with these other commands. Like, for example, you can ask to show what the information of the model you're running. So if I go here, so I'm inside the model running, so I can say show, and it will tell me what I want to show. So show model or show info, and it tells me that I'm running Llama 3.2 version, and these are the quantization method, and also the license, etc. So you can ask all these questions when you're inside the model running. You can save the model. You can change the parameters of the model. So if I say show help, I can say help, and it will tell me all the different commands. And then when you're done with your model, then you can just, to exit the model, you will just type /by. So I can say bye. And it will end up, it will end my model. So I'm back here, and I can still do an Ollama process status. Nothing is running, okay? Another thing I should mention is that when you're running a model, let's say, going to run again, and I'm running in a Mac. So when I do, so it's running. So when I do a process status, I'm still downloading Gemma here. If I do Ollama process status, but from the operating systems, let's say AX rep Ollama, it will tell me that I'm running several processes. For example, the first one here, this part, I'm running a Ollama server. So that's why I have this small icon, Ollama icon up here. So it's running. So I'm running Ollama server. And also another thing you should know that here, disable, yes, here. If you are familiar with Macs, I have an Apple M1 chip, and it's using Metal. Metal will be the equivalent of GPUs in Apple macOS. So if you have an Apple, be sure that you're using GPUs. And that's why when we run and we ask anything to the model, it's more or less fast. Okay. Of course, if you have a newer machine, probably you get better results. So I'm still downloading Gemma 2. It's almost done. And in order to get a new model, I can say Ollama pool and the name of the model. And once it finishes, then I can do the Ollama list to see if it's there. And if you're familiar with Docker, you can see that Ollama pool is similar to Docker pool. And then now I can see that I have all the Gemma 2 included as part of my cache. Okay. Okay, so now I have Llama 3.2 and Gemma 2 available, and Ollama and Amario. I'm going to explain how to customize your model. So I'm going to go back to the notes. So you can customize your model, creating a file name, which in this case I call model file, and use this is the file. So I'm going to use the model Llama 3.2, and I'm going to change the temperature in the parameters, in the default parameters of Llama 2. I'm going to put temperature equal to 1, which is going to be more creative. If you put temperature 0, it's very strict. If it doesn't know the answer, it will say, I don't know the answer. But if you have a temperature 1, it will try to come up with an answer. And this model, I'm going to customize a model. So I'm telling the large language model that he is Mario from Super Mario Brothers, and he will answer as Mario, as an assistant only. So here you can put any type of role, like you're a systems software engineer or a senior software engineer, and you're an expert in Python and Torch, and I want you to help me in developing some software applications. So by default, every time you start this model, it will start with all these set of parameters changed, okay? And then in order to run Mario, which would be this model, you just say, well, you have to create it first. I already created. Ollama create Mario. This is the name, and it's going to be using the information that is in the model file. Okay, and then to run it, I just say Ollama run Mario. So I'm going to run Mario, and I'll show you the model file. So let's go to another terminal. So here, I don't have anything running, right? Nothing running. So I am in my Ollama directory, and I have the model file. So cat model file, it's just the file that I showed you. And so I'm going to run Ollama. I already have created, since Mario is in my list, Ollama list. Mario is in my list, Mario latest. So I say Ollama run Mario. And that's it. So it's loading Mario, which underneath Mario, it's a Llama 3.2 with special instructions. If I say hello, hello, and Mario will answer back. Okay, in Mario's terms, in Mario's language. Okay, and then probably you can ask questions about the game, right? So this is in the context of Super Mario games, and it will probably come back telling me about his life, right? Okay, so you can custom a large language model for a specific type of task. All right. Okay. So you get the idea. Okay. If you have any questions, please stop me or put it in the chat. Okay. So, well, Mario thinks I have all afternoon to be reading his output. Okay. So bye, Mario. I'm done with Mario. Okay. So now let's go back to the notes. And okay. All right, so we know how to use Ollama list and also how to delete a model. And now I show you a diagram a while ago in the slides where you can set up an environment where Ollama is just a part of the large language model, but also you have other applications that combine with Ollama in order to have some system. And in this case, there's an example how to build a chatbot using gradio and LangChain and Ollama as a server. So there's this GitHub page let me open it, with all the instructions how to build a GUI, right? So I have this image, and it's going to be using LangChain and gradio and SQLite and whatever model your Ollama is running. And then you create a UI or user interface, and there are some requisites. So in this case, they're going to be using Llama 3. So this is a little bit old. Now it's Llama 3.2, for example. You can you can put Gemma too, whatever model you wish. And then this is a GitHub. There's a requirements file. So the requirements file has a list of software that needs to be installed, LangChain and Gradio. So you have to download this file. And also there's another file which is called, it's a Python file based on Gradio. And here you're going to define which model you want to use. So you can download this file and modify whatever model you want to use. In this case, I want to use Llama 3.2. So I downloaded, and now go back. So you have to, once you have downloaded, for example, you can work inside your Ollama directory and then pip install -r requirement file, then you will download Gradio and LangChain, and then you will use Python to run the GRadio app. So I already have prepared this. So I'm in this Ollama directory, and I have here the GRadio app, and I have modified to put Llama 3.2. And also I have installed the requirement text. So you have to do like pip3 install requirements. I think there's an R there. Or wasn't. Yes. Let me check. Yeah, -r. -r. And then it will install to your system. I already did this, so it's going to be just checking if it's there. So now it's done. And then I will just execute the Python script, which is called GRadio. So Python, you can check what version you have. And I have 3.12. So I say Python and the name of the file. And shoot. And if everything goes fine, it will open a web browser. So I have to go to my, okay. And it opened a local server on port 7860. Okay. And I don't know if I can make it larger. Yes. So I have a visual interface with my large language model. So here's the window for asking like, hello, no, can you provide provide Python code to plot XY data from I don't know, Excel file. Plot a scatter plot from XY data from an Excel, of XY data from an Excel. I'm just improvising here. So I asked this chatbot, which is Llama 3.2, to help me write a Python code to plot some Excel file with data X, Y, and so the answer probably is not perfect, and you have to know a little bit of Python to see if this is making sense. So what you do is just copy and then paste it into a Python interface, or just save it as a Python file. And then, so I'm relying on this large language model to help me in my coding tasks. Okay. And of course, if I ask him to give me something in some language that I don't have any clue, it was going to be difficult for me to know if the output makes sense or not, right? But you have to know a little bit or be familiar with what you want and also whatever to. Okay, so it has give you all the instructions in order to run this piece of code, right? And again, so you can see that Ollama underneath can be used to replace all what you have been using on the cloud. So in this case, you can use any of the models that Ollama offers you, right? And you know where to change. In this case, we just edited the, okay, so I'm going to, where's my, so we have edited this file, and we changed whatever model you want to use here, and then save it. Use your the editor you like, and then you just go and change, and then you can do Ollama pull this model, and then run Python this Python file, and then it will create this web interface, and if it's running, okay. So now let's say you want to finish running, so you have to go back to the terminal where you launched it. So I go back. Yeah, I'm still running this. Let me go back. So here's running, the server is running. You can see here that at some point, yes, you can see the command Python radio and has opened a local host port 7860 over here. Okay, so to finish this, you just say Control C, since it's just an interactive Python, to finish, and you're done. And now the interface will no longer work. Yes, this is now dead, and you can just close it. Okay. All right, so let me go back. I have a couple of processes still running. Let me finish them. Here, just say bye to finish, to end up your session. And if you're going to write more than one line, remember to use the 3 quotes. So can you whatever, can you explain, or can you describe the main attractions, enter, of Tucson, Arizona, during winter. And then I'm using two lines, so I need to close this with triple double quotes, and then it will answer, right? So that's a multi-line. You have to enclose it between triple double quotes. And you can see the speed of the response from the large language models, because I'm using the metal from the Mac, which is equivalent to a GPU. Okay. All right. Any questions up to there? Okay, let this thing finish. Okay, so you can ask any questions. Also, you can give the model some document you want to summarize. You can use the appropriate like model like Lava, similar to Llama, that can help you interpret some images, etc. So you will find all the descriptions for the different models. Let me say bye here. Thank you. And also I have nothing more running. Yes, okay. Let's go back to the notes. So you can go to the models. And you will find the description for every model inside the model. For example, Gemma 2, and you go inside, you will find that these models come in different sizes. So yeah. So this is the number of parameters, 2 billion, 9 billion, or 27 billion parameters. And every model will have different. If you want to run a Gemma 2 of 9 billion parameters, you say the default Gemma 2. But if you want to use a smaller model, the 2 billion parameter, you say Gemma colon 2B. And if you want to run the 27 billion parameters, Gemma 2 colon 27 billion. And you will find more information for benchmarks and what is the things you can use this large language model. Okay, so this is equivalent of using Gemini on the web, right? You can do all your NLP research, you can do text summarization, you can use it for translating a language, or you can use it for practicing your language, foreign language, etc. And then you will find how to couple this large language model with other tools like LangChain and Llama Index. And we have these topics. Next week, we'll be talking about LangChain. Enrique will be talking about LangChain. And see, go back to. So today we showed a, let me see, where's this wiki code? Today we showed an application where radio was and LangChain were involved. So next week we will be talking about LangChain, and then Gradio will be addressed later, and then RAG also for fine-tuning large language models is also included in this workshop. Okay, so I think that's enough material for today. I didn't have any time to go to high performance computing, but you have to have access to GPUs in order to make it worthwhile. Okay, so any questions? I will gladly answer. Okay, if there are no questions, thank you for connecting today. And we have a next talk coming on NLP for all, where Meg is going to be talking about semantic search. Okay. And so please stay, and thank you for attending this talk.